Living to Eat, Monday, January 2nd, 2023. Did we get through day one all right? Are we excited for a brand new year? Living all the memes? I hope we are. I've been doing good, not getting sucked into the proverbial scroll lock across the social media platforms because I absolutely love a good meme. I touched briefly on being realistic about weight loss, fat loss, or muscle gain, etc. Loving the process and all the gumdrops and rainbows that come with all that. The goal is to encourage all to believe in ourselves that this commitment is forever and this does not have to be point A to B. It's going to have to be an ebb and flow. I'm not condoning yo-yo dieting or losing, then gaining the weight or twice that. Everyone's body's genetics, predispositions, health statuses, and goals are different, but you can't defy the laws of gravity. What goes up must come down. People have their own opinions on this, and I'm only here to state my opinion with my own experiences. I think we all know that muscle weighs more than fat, but for those who didn't, we learn something new every day. Do not get caught up in these detox teas or fad diets. The water or juice fasts, keto, Atkins, or whatever crazy stuff that's out there. Vegetarian, pescatarian, and veganism is a very much a personal diet, and that is nothing that I will judge. I think people that choose those diets also have other reasons involved or just prefer to eat that way. I know there's also paleo, Whole30, Weight Watchers, if it fits my macros, and I think I'm missing some others, but I'm on the fence about those. If it works and it fits your lifestyle, go for it. The most important key warning I have is that if you cut out carbs, you will have a hard time with your energy levels and or if you start eating carbs again. Again, just my opinion, but one I feel strongly about. Intermittent fasting is another way of eating that works for some, but I warn those who tend to binge eat to be careful. I am one of them. That is absolutely a trigger for me. Not eating makes me want to end it all if I don't eat, and when I do eat, it'll be anything and everything, no matter what I have planned. I become irrational if I try to eat in a window of time. When you do these other fad diets or unbalanced, wonky ways of eating, it just makes it that much harder to stick to a plan because you're depriving yourself of certain foods. Can you imagine having a busy day and trying to fast? How tired you'd be? Quick rundown. Your body needs quick energy, so it gobbles glycogen, but that's just a small storage. Next, once that's gone, it's either going to attack muscle or fat and or both, plus water. Well, yeah. This is a super deep subject, and I'm not even going to dive into it, but at the very basic level, calories in and calories out. Yeah, I said it. At the very least, get a rough idea of how many calories you're eating. Look at the labels and actually measure out what you're eating if you feel up for the challenge. Download MyFitnessPal or LifeSum to calculate. It's actually just a rough estimate, but you'll get a snapshot of what a portion really is. The problem with calorie counting can be a slippery slope. Healthy quote unquote healthy eating for some can turn into problematic eating, going either way, that of restricting or overeating. Like I said, I binge a lot. Once I feel like I'm losing control, I'll just say fuck it and go balls to the wall. I still struggle with it. My way of trying to control it may not work for the next person, but there are so many recipes that taste really good and have substitutes in the ingredients that can tweak the meal to make it healthier. I found that if I use the recipe function in MyFitnessPal, I can calculate a meal that I'm prepping for the week. For example, I love this tortellini soup recipe, so I pop the link into the recipe bar straight into the app. It calculates the bulk ingredients, and boom, I have the portion sizes and the calories for each portion. I focus on the 3 main macros: protein, fat, and carbs. I've realized just how hard it is to take in enough protein. That is why bodybuilders or athletes use protein supplements, because it's just so hard to take in enough without taking in a lot of fat. I don't worry about fat. It's just so hard to balance the two. I just focus on the protein. Just keep it simple. Now, for a hefty eater like me, protein truly keeps you so full. I noticed that sticking to portions and using suggested healthy snacks and meals, I feel like I ate so much in the day, but by the next morning, I feel the difference, especially by the end of the week. By the next morning, I'm starving. Like, I'm ready to eat, despite how much I ate during a day of eating prepped meals. You don't have to deprive yourself of anything and everything you like to eat. That could be denser meals, but quote unquote in moderation. But truly, it has to be in moderation. The very first thing you should do once you decide to count some calories is calculating your TDEE. Google TDEE calculator and find out what your basic calories is to live are, and then what you need to eat, how many calories you need to eat if you include exercise. Generally, as a woman, because I'm a woman, I'm 5'6", and my calculations are 1,700 to 1,800. Do not go down to 1,200 calories a day. Do not do that, ever. You are working backwards. You will not get this down in a day, just to 1,700 or whatever calories. But if you just go one day at a time and celebrate that as a win. Going after changes to your body, whether aesthetically or just for health reasons, it takes time. The biggest hump to get over is being patient. What you ate last week isn't going to show up until the week after. You won't see a slight change until the next month. And gains don't show up until the next year. If you do things at a nice, easy pace, it will come. Picture your perfect body and what you're trying to achieve. Then accept you'll only reach 80% of that. That's just reality. You will not achieve the perfect body. And if you do, more than likely, you still won't be happy. No matter what, looking out for the vessel that you are traveling through this life in is a good thing. Having a routine in your everyday life is a wonderful thing for your mental health. I talked about habits in my previous video, so I won't beat that horse any more than I already have. if you don't like how things are going in your life, change something. There really is no excuse. I've always, I've also explained in my first video what pushed me to create this channel. I always wanted to, but I put it off for so many excuses I had. Ultimately, I wanted to share my story and the things I've learned through all of it, one topic at a time. I would like to share more, but this is where I conclude this entry. If you've made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate you listening and letting me share. I hope you come back, and I'll leave you with this thought. Devote the rest of your life to making progress. Epictetus. Check out the Daily Stoic on Instagram. That page has been very inspiring to me. And thank you again for listening. I'll be back with a new one. Bye.